I've heard this a lot. Delaware is boring. I'm fed up with that phrase though, and I really want your guys' take. So here's my side of things. Delaware, when I hear somebody say is boring, what is typically what they're referencing when they say that?
Sussex County.
Sussex County, middle of the state. What more so are they saying is absent though?
Entertainment.
Okay, got it. So a lot of times in my argument, correct me if I'm wrong, we're talking there's nowhere to go out. Bars are closed by 1 a.m. We don't have strip clubs, we don't have nightclubs. If you go to Dewey or you go to Tally Square, or Trolley Square, you're going and seeing college kids and young 20s, like, oh, there's nothing to do. My argument is you're in your 30s, there's stuff to do for you, except you're trying to do all the things that you should have outgrown. And I'm just being real. I don't want to be controversial, but there's a lot of stuff to do in this state. You could start easily with the beaches, the trails, and nature, and like real actual cool stuff to do. But also just like the fact that we have military bases, suburban areas, urban areas. We're so close to Jersey. We're so close to New York. We're so close to Baltimore. Both OCs. Like there's so much to do. What do y'all think about that argument? There's nothing to do in Delaware. I like to focus there.
Well, I'd like to expand on you talking about, people in their 30s trying to do things, that the people in their 20s are doing. Let's talk about family-centered activities. I mean, what would you put on the list of family-centered activities? People in their 30s, starting young family.
I would say initially, it's the festivals and events that happen in Delaware.
Oh, yeah.
There are so many.
Yeah.
There are so many communities. I know like downtowns like Milton, Milford, going down to the beaches, Bethany, Lewis.
Camden's getting ready to do the Peach Festival.
Camden,
Fifers.
Apple Scrapple's coming up. I mean, there's a lot of things to do that have, carnival aspects, kids zones, fun places to walk around, learn, engage.
There's a lot of events like that,
Yeah.
but you have to go and look like on Facebook.
Yeah.
But people don't do that. They're like, oh, I can't do something 5 seconds.
Shout
for
out
me.
like Eagle 97.7 though. They
Yeah.
keep a good like running list of events of things going on. I'd say that would be my counter to it.
Okay.
He's like, I agree with that one.
I was asking.
But what else? Let's stick on that realm. If I'm watching this, I'm in my 30s, and I heard me, and I'm like, screw you, guy. What else is there to do? What else is there to do?
I think I'd add to that. I think some people try to compare Delaware to being like in downtown DC or downtown Philly, downtown New York.
Absolutely.
And you can't expect that you're going to walk downtown or 10 feet from your house to go to like your local bakery or your local entertainment, local bar. Like you have to be prepared to drive 10, 15 minutes.
Having those walkable places is really that only exists
It's really
up
nice
north
to be
towards
able
like
to
Philly.
drive. Like when you're going to New York, like I just went to Jersey City. I looked at my GPS and I said 20 minutes, 1.2 miles.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's sick. I hate this. So, I agree.
They're getting ready to charge an extra 15. They're getting ready to charge an extra $15, I think, for passenger cars going into Manhattan now.
Oh, probably.
Oh,
Like you
saw
pass
that.
through
They're
the port
trying to
and
reduce
it's another
traffic.
$15.
Should they do that in Delaware? Should we have increased tolls for people that aren't from Delaware?
Oh, God, yes. I don't think they
we
can
do.
legally
We
do
can't
that.
legally do
I
it?
don't think
Out
so.
of state is higher.
Is it?
No.
No.
No. You
No?
can't.
On tolls. Yeah.
No.
Are you sure?
Pull it up.
They cannot do
Sean,
that.
I don't think Sean's on producer mode right now,
All
but
I
we
know is-
don't have a phone. Do you have a phone?
Yeah.
Do it. We're
Well, I
gonna
know,
pull
like,
this up.
State parks out of state is definitely
At
higher.
state parks, yes.
I'm talking
I
about
think
toll
toll-
roads.
Yeah.
I think
I don't think they can.
100%. State parks are different
Yeah.
for out-of-state
Yeah, state
residents for
parks,
tax.
definitely.
But for tolls,
I think they can't. I think it's interstate commerce. You can't judge people because it's a federally owned highway.
sure we can judge you. You're
I mean, we
living
can.
there and using our stuff for fun.
I mean, let's
Like,
be honest. Nobody from Delaware likes Jersey drivers like in the suburb.
I don't like people who put bad drivers in one state. They're everywhere.
Oh, true.
They're
We have
everywhere.
our fair share of
We
bad
do.
drivers.
We have a lot of student
Yeah,
driver
it-
courses around
the
this
Route
time
1
too.
tolls
This
just
is
vary
fair.
based on what day it is.
Yeah.
So
Okay, it's day.
it goes
Day,
Weekend.
the weekend's
Yeah,
like
for
three
sure.
ducks.
Friday,
Yeah.
Saturday,
I
I
said
think.
3 ducks.
I mean,
You're your duck, sir.
you might take them. 3 chickens.
All the
Pulling up to
tolls
toll.
are
That'll be
full of
one
ducks.
duck today, sir. That's a mallard. Sorry, we can't accept those.
Mallard's a duck.
No, mallard's a mallard, I believe.
It's a duck.
Is a mallard a type
It's
of
a
duck?
type of duck.
I was always under the understanding a
It's like a
mallard was a
rectangle
mallard
and a
and a
square.
duck was a duck.
There's like mallards. There's
Well, yeah, they're all polygons. I get it. But what? He said a rectangle and a square. They're all polygons.
Oh,
Yeah.
very confused.
Yeah. No, they all are. But a square is a rectangle or a rectangle is a square? I don't know that. A square.
Oh,
square
rectangle is a
is a
square.
rectangle, but a rectangle isn't a square.
Because a square has to have all the
Yeah.
edges.
No.
No? I think a square has to have all the same things.
A rectangle is a square, but a square is not a rectangle.
Oh.
I have no idea.
I
You're hurting my brain.
I know.
So a square has to be all even edges.
This isn't college.
So a square is not a rectangle.
I'm checking out.
But a rectangle just has 4 sides.
No, it's the other way. You're right. You said it right because a rectangle is not a square. A square is a rectangle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if a square's a rectangle,
So are there things to do in Delaware?
As we go on.
would you raise a duck?
So square, Della square. It's just a really bad attempt at a transition.
Dad jokes from the dad.
Okay.
Here comes the rap.
I'd also argue that when it comes to things like being in a vicinity of things to do, Delaware is so top notch. Because I can really have a date night, a weekend out, just a day trip anywhere in Delaware without any problem. You know, we'll frequent places like west, getting into like a Harvest Ridge and basically count that as Delaware, or south into Ocean City, same thing, Salisbury, Philly. There's all these areas that are just right there. And you're right. Like if you live in New York, like it's 45 minutes to get out of New York.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, you don't do a lot of bouncing around in New York. I feel like a lot of people are
They
really
don't. They
centralized.
stay where they're at. They don't want to go to like Manhattan. To
I thought
the
you got a little
Bronx,
depressed
to
there
the
when you
city.
talked about New York.
I miss it.
Do you really?
Oh, I love it.
Why?
I don't know.
Give me your best pitch.
It's well, like outside, like there's an energy in New York, right? And I don't want to like be cliche, but I think it
You
hits.
are.
Obviously, I know it hits people that are not from New York a lot harder. But people in New York say the same thing. But it's a different energy mentality there. And then I also love just the invisibility of it. I mean, you go to New York, no matter
Yes.
where you are, there's no judgment. There's no like feeling of like judgment.
Okay.
I don't.
I hear that argument. You don't agree?
No. I think New York can be very judgy. I just think it's so big. You're not going to run into people unless you
That's
are
fair.
where you live. So you could go like 2 miles down the road. You're not going to run into your friends.
Yeah, you're in
They're
a
not there.
completely different environment
Yeah.
of people at that point.
You do whatever you want, and nobody's going to be like, oh,
Yeah.
it's that guy. I know who you are. I'm going to tell your mom.
Fair, yeah. It's
Yeah.
not like the guy in
Anytime
Camden.
I'm there, I feel like I'm a fly on the wall, and I think that's
fair.
kind of what you're referring to. It's
Yeah,
like I feel
absolutely.
invisible. Like nobody gives a damn what I'm doing in New York.
Yeah, you don't know
They're
anybody. They're all there for New
busy.
York.
They're
They're
all
all there
Make
for
eye
New York.
contact,
Everybody's
yeah,
going-
passage.
They've all got a
walking right
place to
past.
be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that what you want day to day though? I feel that's cool in moments. Because I'll give you an example of where I felt that. Montreal. I did not expect the fact I knew they spoke French. I did not know French was the main language. I did not know English was secondary. And I've never felt more fly on the wall. Whoa, I'm not even here today.
Disregarded.
Yeah. And not in a rude way. Like, you don't understand me. I'd ignore me too.
Yeah.
like I get it. So I liked it, but like by the third or fourth day, it almost was a little, I don't know, disconcerting, like disconnecting. I don't know.
Bite size.
pick up any friends?
pieces.
In bite-sized
Yeah.
pieces, yeah.
I think it depends too. Like if that's the vibe you're going for, then like live in New York.
Would you go
Don't
for
to
that? Would you
Delaware.
go for that vibe day to day? Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd live there. Yeah.
Man.
Absolutely.
But I think
Would
it
you?
depends on your personality.
I would, but like
You know?
it's always been like a dream of mine. Like I would be on Broadway if I was in a different life.
Heard. That's the Empire State of Mind, though. I like that. The concrete jungle where dreams are made of. So back to Delaware. Where's Delaware sit in terms of if you had to say to a New Yorker these three things you're going to like better about Delaware or find or we're probably comparable in certain ranges? I'd say immediately people love the distance between things when they come
Space.
to Delaware as opposed to a New York. What else do we think?
I think travel is the second one because I mean in New York you can go through New York, but like you said, I have in the last 10 days been in Philadelphia, been in DC, been in New York, and Jersey City, and it was all either an hour and a half, 2 hour drive and take a train up, or just drive to DC, drive to Philly. You can't do that in New York. You can't go anywhere except New York, and that's all you have. But we have options here.
That's a pro, though, I'd say, for someone who doesn't want to say they have to own a car. You don't have to
You
in
can
there.
get any. I mean, not that the subway system is perfect, but
Well, yeah, but
can
you're not going to
get-
go to DC today because you want to. You're not going to go to Philly today if you want to. You're not going to go to Ocean City today if you want to. If you live in New York,
I mean, if you live in Delaware, you're poised to do that better than anywhere else.
that's my point. You have those options.
Okay, fair. All right,
Yeah.
now I'm
The
with
same
you.
thing for
Yeah,
flying.
absolutely.
You got Philly to judge. You got Baltimore. You got the other 2 or 3 airports
That's
in
a
DC.
con. That's a con. We don't
got
have
options.
one. We have options.
Well,
we
yes.
have
Well, no,
options
there
that
is
aren't
that
in our-
airport. No, the one
There's
up
one in
Wilmington.
Newcastle, but
Yeah.
I tried to go to Orlando on that, but they only went on specific days, It was like
Yeah.
Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Yeah.
So it was like if I don't get out on Thursday, I'm staying until next Tuesday.
They're
can
so
price shop,
expanding.
though.
Yeah.
What?
You can price shop though between Philly and
Yeah.
Baltimore and all that other ones.
For sure.
Yeah, the price is better,
Yeah.
but a lot of times it's like you're there one day or 1 week, and you got to pick something in between. Could you fly I guess you'd have to get dropped off and then picked up, but I guess you could fly out of there and then fly back with somebody else, maybe save money.
Yeah.
I guess
Yeah, you
a
could.
little bit. But I'm fully on the bandwagon, and I'll shout out Pat for it. I'm fully on the Spirit bandwagon. I only have a carry-on.
Oh yeah,
It is
like
not-
it's a day trip thing.
Yeah, because they get their money off the upcharges. Like you can't get water, which I didn't think was legal. You're locked up here in the air. $3
You can't get water where on what?
on Spirit Airlines. They will not give you water.
And your forced Spirit is what you're saying.
Yeah, because it's a $70 flight sometimes, as opposed to $380. And if it's water, then I'm messing with. I'll just bring my own water.
Yeah.
I'll buy the
Pay the $8
I'll buy the $8
airport.
water out there, and not your $3 tap water, Spirit.
That's fair.
Now we just figured out why Zach's bag gets searched every time we
Whoa,
go there.
whoa! I just
water
don't bring my
bottles,
driver's
water
license.
bottles.
That's
Fair.
fair. I don't even want to get into that. No, that's not for this podcast. I saw your eyes.
I saw a news article the other day. Actually, I didn't
What?
even send to you.
About what?
Similar situation.
Someone try to sneak in.
Yeah.
What happened?
Well, they were able to sneak in, but then they went and they had a buddy pass to try to get on the actual flight, and they kept getting like the denied next flight because it was full. So they took a picture of somebody else's ticket that was in line, walked into the airplane, and it was a little kid. And the kid obviously didn't have a seat at that point. So then they kicked him out. The police arrested him. He's facing like 8 felonies now.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Sneaking onto a plane.
To go to a plane.
That's
use
nuts,
what's
'cause he didn't have a
One
ticket
thing
for that
I
plane.
won't
That's
F
crazy.
Yep.
That's nuts.
The getting on the do not fly list.
Yeah.
I have no
Like, how do you think you're
desire.
not going to get caught?
Right.
Yeah.
And he's on a buddy pass. So he's like, he knows the last few flights have been booked. So somebody's going to probably
Yeah,
be
you're
on that
on the
next
reserve.
seat.
But see, I get the frustration.
Yeah,
I get
I've
the
done
rash
it.
decision.
Yeah.
You've done it?
Yeah, buddy passes?
Oh, yeah.
No, not
yeah,
with me. No, buddy passes.
I get the like, because there was the one guy, and I felt, you feel bad. It's more a shout out to the security of the airport. The guy who ran out on the airstrip. It was like
Yeah.
3 weeks ago. Yeah, a guy, his mom had passed, and he's trying to get back home to the funeral. He probably wasn't in the best state of mind, and he missed the flight. He showed up like 5 minutes late, so the gate was closed. He could still see it taxiing. So he broke down one of the doors and got out onto the airstrip, but he got in front of the plane, like going like this, and he got sucked into the engine. He died.
Oh, that's what happened.
Yeah, he died. He didn't get arrested, and he died.
Oh.
And it's just like, whoa, like,
How do you even get onto the tarmac?
exactly.
Oh, you can.
Exactly.
You can.
Exactly. And
But
it's a
the thing is
humongous.
in the air. It's not like you can just go.
No, it was still on the
tunnel.
ground. It was taxiing. He was
No, in
waiting
the
in front.
tunnel. Like when you get onto the plane, right? It's
Yeah.
ground.
Oh, no, there's
No, he got
That's-
through one of the
that's ways.
security things. He like going to the stairs, like probably the routes. The guys, the flaggers.
yeah.
Probably one of the routes they went. But it's just like, I think we should have an airport that's more convenient. That's where we got to wrap it back down
Salisbury has
to.
its
And there's a
own
downside for Delaware.
Does Salisbury have a better airport than Newark though when it comes to like availability?
Well, no. I mean, Avelo is expanding. They just got a huge grant.
Did they?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Late
I
last
think
year, I want to
right
say.
now they're about the same. Like Salisbury really only goes to like Charlotte and
The American Airlines capital of America.
that's literally
Send me my
about
money,
it.
America.
Like it's just like in between flights.
Yeah.
All this Boeing stuff, I don't want to fly anywhere right now.
That's scary.
Same.
That is scary. Well, let's rock it back to Delaware, though. On the non-scary side, you said something before the podcast, and I thought you were going to reference it in form of what New Yorkers can enjoy as opposed to being in New York and finding in Delaware.
Yeah.
You referenced earlier that the cap for entertainment or the standard for entertainment is the Delaware State Fair. I have some opinions on that.
I'd love to hear it.
I want to hear more your argument for that being our standard for entertainment.
So here's the thing.
the 8-day county fair in Harrington, Delaware.
State fair.
Yes, I hear you, but it's a county fair because it's in Sussex County. Well, Kent County actually technically. Is that Kent or Sussex?
It's us. Well, no, it's Harrington, so it's Kent.
I thought that railroad track was the Sussex. I don't know. Either way, that's the epitome of our entertainment.
I don't think it's a negative thing, though. So I'm born and raised, Delaware boy, Sussex County. I always love the state fair because I do find it enjoyable because there is a bunch to do. They have the, the Roost now with all the drinks, the parties, the lights, all that. You have entertainment. You have some big people who have come through music-wise that have played there, both country, some rock and roll, all that good stuff, rap. I think growing up, was it T-Pain that played there way back in the day? No, it was Flo Rida.
Flo Rida.
In high school. Yeah.
I think he likes that pronunciation of his name too.
Probably.
Flo Rider. It's the way he loves it.
Just like that. That's why I came to Delaware. I honestly think it's a pinnacle. I do think it's a good thing. However, a lot of people like to dig on it and say, no, there's nothing to do. But I also think it's much like people not going to Facebook to find events to do. They go to the state fair, they say, oh, there's some cows, some pigs, and go home. They don't see everything that you can do while you're there.
I don't think it's very well known. I mean, maybe like in Sussex and Lower Kent.
Well, Newcastle hates getting Sussex.
Yeah, above the canal.
It's a strong word, but it's not something that people plan to do every year up north, I'd say.
Why is that?
I haven't been
is
since
that
I was like a toddler.
But why? I get it. I'm on the side of the argument of I think the state fair is overrated.
Yeah.
He's on the side of you think it's underrated. You don't know it exists. So
I do.
But you don't go.
I don't go. I have no idea.
But you're the epitome. You're the epitome of though. If you could stay above the canal,
Newcastle
you'd
County.
never leave.
So this is my point back to kind of like the local cities kind of thing. I think Wilmington has.
Into the mic, beautiful. All right, there we go. We're here.
I think Wilmington has a little bit of that. Everything's close. I don't want to have to drive far. I don't want to have to go far that like Philly has, New York has, DC may even have. But it's interesting, like my clients I was working with that just moved here from California, and I'm talking to them about what the state has all the way from the beach up to Wilmington. And they're like, oh, that's great. Everything's easily accessible. It's really a short drive. And I'm like, an hour? And they're like, yeah, we drove an hour just to like go to the beach and back. Like from there in California, they're like, yeah, an hour drive for us is nothing. Like, so I think it's...
Well, then Nick could traverse Delaware on a daily basis with no issue.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, I think it's a little bit... You guys might have that little bit more of a spatial mindset. And
Spatial?
I think just like used to having to make long trips. I suppose people up north are like 20 minutes. That's
I think they try to pretend like this is New York because they're like, I gotta drive 10 minutes.
It's not a long trip. I don't have to go an hour anywhere. Are you talking about Sussex County versus Newcastle County? Am I mishearing that?
I'm just saying like Newcastle County specifically is like quick travel.
Yeah, but Kent County's quick travel. I'm a minute a mile in Kent and Sussex County. You're not doing that in Newcastle.
No.
That's the thing. Unless you're on 95 or Route 1, you're not doing that.
But I'm only going 3-4 miles.
That's your lifestyle, though.
Exactly.
Okay, so if we're speaking to the Josh Brenneman lifestyle of choice, we're 3 to 4 minutes.
It's not me specific. I'm talking about
above the canal. If I'm so just as an example, if I were to go from Claymont, down to like Newcastle or Newark, and take that diagonal line across, that's an hour 15-minute trek.
No.
Hour.
40.
Okay, I'm talking edge to edge, not entry to entry. But regardless, if I were to go from one side of Kent County, a much thicker portion of the state, to the other, I can do it in 30 minutes.
We also have 95 that runs through everything.
Very true. Very true. 100%.
So I can get North Wilmington to Newark. Yeah.
Yeah, if you cheat,
30 minutes. We're hop on 95. Now, a lot of people don't love 95.
I don't know about that.
A lot of people will just
I like the fact that Kent County and Sussex County, though, the drive isn't just jumping on a highway. Personally, and that's a little bit of personal preference. I do like the back road drives, preferably. What's Salisbury like in that term? Is it more back
It's
road?
really similar. So I take 13 to get here, so it's literally a straight line from Delmar to here. But I when we were in Milford, I could take Beach Highway and I would go the back way through there.
Yeah, do like Lincoln and all that, Ellendale.
And Salisbury, really, you have the main drag, which is 13 or 50. And then it's all back roads and like farm, and there's little like.
I enjoy that.
Yeah, I do too.
Especially in the
I do
summer.
too.
But I feel you don't, though.
No, I do.
So what keeps you above the canal? So this is a things to do argument. I'd argue that most people's reason for not coming below the canal is because they, like you said, don't have a reason to. So is that there's nothing to do down here reason? Or is it just because it's habit?
Well, I think there's definitely a mindset that there is nothing to do down here. I don't think it's correct. I know it is definitely, I think what I like most about Newcastle County is that it feels like a large community. It's more or less a larger community.
TikTok.
Hey, everybody.
Someone said, who's talking?
Josh.
Ghost.
And this is Al.
This is Al, right?
I'm Al. Oh, gosh.
So
Going from Austin to Allen to Al. What's up, A?
Yeah. Thanks,
boogie.
Mom.
A game, baby.
A
boogie.
game.
A game.
So I think that, for me, it feels like almost all of Newcastle County is a larger community. It's more of a
Sorry, just got a mean comment. I just want to say I'm not going to repeat it. Sorry. Sussex County living all the way. I agree.
Was it about Al?
No. Well, no, it wasn't. They'll never know. I think the argument does come down to a lot of people not knowing what there is to do in the area.
Agreed.
But should people, you made the point of like people don't take the time to research it. I don't really research an area unless I'm like traveling to it.
Yeah.
Is it a marketing issue? Is it a path? Like, let's get into the business side. Is this like the brand issue? Like there's just a branding around this area that there's nothing to do, Kent, Sussex County, excluding the beaches? Or is this truly we are behind the curve on our population to land to entertainment ratio, I guess, if that makes sense? Because we are one of the most populated states by land size. We're in the top 10. So by like density, we're pretty popular.
Yeah.
I think it's a lack of awareness for the most part.
From the consumer or
Yeah.
the person who lives here?
Right, because there are things to do. Like there's music festivals, and like in the summer there's live music at Bottle and Cork and Dewey almost every night.
The live music scenes are great.
And that typically is catered towards not the like college aged kids, but it's like Dashboard Confessional is playing there in August or something. Like
Huzzah.
That's a 2000 throwback.
Let's get the red jumpsuit apparatus in here while we're at it.
Oh, yeah, right.
I like the music scene. I think places like Long Neck are really cool. Millsboro, Milton, Harbison, Ocean View, kind of like those not off the beaten path, but like not Rehoboth, Dewey, Bethany, like one town over type towns.
Yeah.
And you get that in Sussex County. Have you been to those towns though?
I've been through those towns.
Okay, so they're like the flyover towns.
Well, it just seems like, back to my point, is that like there's more of a small community feeling down south, I think.
Hood baby, yeah. Down south, hood baby. I'm sorry. It was a TikTok.
Will you just say that about Newcastle though? Like it's
No, I
more
was
of like
saying
everybody. There's a community. up there.
Newcastle feels like a large community. That's why I like it. Wilmington, Newark, Pike Creek, Hocassin, everybody. It's not like
I don't know. MOT does not like the rest of y'all.
What's something you can do in Newcastle
Well, I'm not
County though
talking
above
about
the
MOT
canal?
at all.
But that's
MOT
you're right
It's
above the
Newcastle.
canal, above the
It's
canal,
MOT.
above the canal is 100%. But what would my argument to you would be, what's something you can do up there you could not accomplish below the canal? As he's texting, he's not even.
No, I'm trying to turn this around.
Oh, got you. Hi, there you go.
Stop.
What's something you can do? Or are you asking me that?
I'm asking you a question. We're live on a podcast. What are you doing? Put your phone down. There you go. So, did the same thing earlier. What's something you can't do in Kent, Sussex County that you can accomplish above the canal?
Give me a moment.
I know you need a moment because there's not a ton. Like you go to a Blue Rocks game.
Yeah, sports.
Yeah, Shorebirds those right around the corner.
Local
Yeah.
sports.
Okay, we
not
don't
that
even
that's,
have a
like, the
professional
biggest
sports
but
team. We
thing.
can't claim that. Can't claim the Eagles.
No,
just
still gotta go to
because
Philly
we're
or
closer.
DC at that point.
Corey likes the wineries in the area.
I mean, I'll play devil's advocate here and say, like, yes, there's things to do, and like you said, live music and businesses all over the place. I do think there's a severe lack of entertainment.
What would you
as
like to
far
be
as-
entertained by, though? I hear that. I agree.
Yeah.
There could be more.
Yeah.
But what should it be?
Well, shows, music, plays, things like that. We're right in the center of, the circle that all those things do on the East Coast as far as their touring, and we get skipped over a lot.
I was expecting a much different answer from you.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Different form of entertainment?
Yes,
you're hoping
from you?
for?
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you. So I would say...
I'm lost. I don't know what they're talking about. Talking about something weird. So I would say that there's not really a huge argument for Newcastle, is what I'm hearing. Is that what I'm hearing?
I think Delaware's a whole. I mean, we've talked about
You
like...
can't tie the match by saying Delaware as a whole. That's not fair.
I think there's...
I don't think Newcastle. It's
There's
just Delaware as
gaps
a
in
whole.
entertainment top to bottom, is what I'm saying.
All right.
Like it's
I'll accept. I'll accept your tie. I'll accept your tie. I'll accept it.
The left hand
A left-handed truce meant nothing.
so wrong. I think it's very regional. If you're going to the beach, you're
Just
going for
away from the
beach
mic, baby.
activities. I know. I'm sorry. You're going to beach activities. You're doing, live music there, bars, going to the beach, maybe going to a restaurant, right? You go up to Wilmington, you're going to dinner, you're going to a bar, maybe seeing a show. I don't think it's like something you can go to one city in Delaware and get everything at the same time.
If there was that city, where is it? Is it Wilmington? If I'm wanting food, things to do.
No, because I don't want to get into any water near Wilmington.
That's fair. Okay, so we're losing the water factor.
The beach.
Which one?
Rehoboth would probably be the easiest play. So it's got the restaurants, it's got the entertainment, it has shows there. And you're close enough at least to Lewis and Dewey where it's a 5, maybe 10-minute drive comparable.
Yeah.
Because Wilmington's so big, it can take 25 minutes to go across the entire thing.
See, and that takes me back to it's an awareness and a marketing issue because there are local theater organizations like Possum Point Players is in Delaware.
What about in
And
Milford?
they put on,
They have a great one.
yeah.
Yep.
And you've got the Milton Theater does shows all the time, drag or like actual straight plays or musicals.
Did you say straight plays?
Yeah, straight plays or plays with just speaking, no singing.
Oh. When you went from drag show to
He
straight
jumped. He was
plays,
like,
I was like,
wait.
wait, are we labeling that now? I was like, it's like, okay, I just didn't know. That makes sense. So just straight up a show.
Yeah.
Understood.
Tonight in
Makes sense.
Milford, straight plays.
Local real estate
Strictly
influencer
straight plays.
canceled overnight. I'd say it's like Bethany Ocean View, maybe even Fenwick Island doesn't get a lot of love.
Fenwick does not.
Is
Really
it possible
cool
that
stuff.
Delawareans just are not cultured enough?
I think Delawareans have too much of an expectation of culture
Yep.
because of our surroundings to culture. We have DC and Baltimore and Annapolis and Virginia Beach, which I know is far in Williamsburg and things like
Yeah.
that, but we are only a rock's throw from all these places of like, not just culture, like you could talk to people around the world and like, oh yeah, New York, DC, Philly, right? Mm-hmm. And then you're from where? What state? Like,
Yeah.
is that a city? Like, so Delaware just kind of, I think we want more for Delaware, but at the same token, we're the same people yelling, hey, get out of here. No one can come to Delaware. Like, how are we supposed to grow?
You know what's funny?
How are we supposed to grow?
I was talking to some people, and I've been told this before, you know, people that have lived in like Nebraska, Oklahoma, Texas, even California, right? That have never been outside their state or even really outside an hour, circumference of where they live.
Yeah.
Never, ever.
Yeah.
But most Delawareans that I know have been up and down the state, have been to Philly, have been to DC, have been to New York, maybe a little farther up there too, gone to Ocean City, gone to Salisbury, right? We go and do more and go outside of what is Delaware than all of these other places.
That's a great point.
So we go to a whole bunch of different communities, and I think we're kind of used to that, and we expect everywhere else to be like that, when in reality, it's not. Most people might drive 45 minutes, and that's their, cool, we went and did something today, guys. That's a big trip for the year.
Right, like 45 minutes is a trip.
Yeah.
But
and in New York, you might still be in New York.
Yeah.
Definitely. Well, it's like, so bringing that full circle, do we think that Delaware is slower on the entertainment front than most because we're just all used to leaving Delaware for entertainment?
I'd agree with that.
might not be a priority
Yeah.
since it's just so adjacent to us.
Like, especially in Wilmington, I know if anyone is like thinking about doing like a nice dinner or like maybe like anniversary weekend or something like that, doing something nice, they go to Philly or New York. They're not like, oh, I'm going to.
So is this just an okay, so maybe we talk about anchoring all the time, right? Like just where we're at every day is kind of, your brain expects that. Because I feel like people from Kent go to Sussex or Newcastle. But then people at the beaches go to OC or Salisbury, and then people up north go to Philly. So is this just like, let me get to the next level for the fun thing?
Or different.
Or different? Yeah, or just different, get a different scenery?
Yeah.
Because I feel
see
there's
that.
there's plenty of places in Newcastle. I can go celebrate a great date night.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Or Eden down at the beach.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or down at the beach, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. But
it doesn't require me to leave, because earlier you said, I just want to point out, you said leave Delaware.
yes,
I don't feel that's required. But maybe it's because when I think about Dover, I don't think of a place I want to go out on a really nice date night either. But when I really think about it, I'm like, nah, there's actually plenty of places I could go.
if we're talking about like top talent entertainment, though, I mean, you're not going to you're not going to be like, oh, I want to see this band. I'm just going to wait for them to come through Wilmington.
Man, stop switching the argument on me, man. I'm trying. God, yeah, you're right. There's no artist. Okay, we're
Well,
on
here's the
food,
thing.
we're on the
So,
music.
we don't have a singular venue for musicians, but again, Delaware State Fair.
We do.
Down at the beach.
It's called the Queen. It's
Man
in
said,
Wilmington.
yeah, I hear you. But so when there's
Not a
artists
lot of
coming to
people come
town,
through. They don't just go to the Queen. And there's not a whole lot that comes to the Queen. I can't go be like, okay, I know for a fact I'm going to go and see an artist every single month at the Queen.
Exactly.
Not even
That's
close.
my exact point.
It's more spread out because the Delaware State Fair gets people. People at the beach. We see people at Dashboard Confessionals go down there, right?
Yeah.
There's the Queen. So there's options, but there's not one singular spot.
Yeah.
So I think it's the frustration. We wish there was a spot. Even Jimmy Allen at the place over in.
Screw that guy. Screw that guy. I almost had him on the podcast. We were talking, and then I found out all this wildness about him.
Something happened. What
Holy cow, man.
I'm not on that side of
Dude's
TikTok.
a dick.
Oh, is he?
No, yeah, dude. I'll say it live on YouTube. Dude's a dick.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, do your own research. Do your own research. He was lined up. I had a direct connection to him, get him on the podcast, was linked with his camera guy. He's like, we're talking dates. And then I literally ghosted him. Because like,
What'd he do?
He separated and should be charged with some S-word stuff. But yeah, do your own research. That's not what this is for. But yeah, Jimmy Allen was the type of guy though that would frequent like those beach venues for live music.
Okay.
And they still do. Like the Bottle and Cork and Starboard and all those places are very popular venues for top tier artists. They really do frequent those areas. And the top tier artists end up usually like loving the area too. More so maybe than a Newcastle. Because I don't see anybody, like, if T-Pain went to the Queen, I don't see him walking away being like, well, gosh darn, I love the Queen. I'm going to come back here. But
I want to buy a house here.
But if he went to the Bottle and Cork down in Dewey, he might look around and be like, gosh darn, this is a mighty fine place. I might come back here. Like,
I think you'd be pleasantly surprised. I mean,
Your nicest condo.
the coin, first
golly
of all,
gee, this is great.
Well, I'll be.
Well, I'll be.
He's now
Mr.
a
Payne
country
is here to
artist.
stay. You imagine if he made reference to himself as Mr. Payne? I met him, someone in the comment section was like, and we had Firefly. I got to meet him at Firefly. If you're watching this, T, you're a bit of a dick at Firefly, but it's okay. You said you were on a juice cleanse and it was fine, and I had a really awkward interaction with you.
Zach's also been on juice cleanse, so he gets it. I said, you've also been on a juice cleanse.
Oh, dog, yeah. He was on like
trash.
day 28 of 30, putting on a festival performance. And they had just evacuated everybody and asked him to come back. Everyone's mad and sober. And they're like, perform. And he's like, yeah, and he's out there literally halfway through. He's like, all right, I feel like y'all hate me and I'm mad. Like he literally was like getting anxious up there. Like, I feel like y'all hate this.
This is not the vibe. I'll leave. Like,
and I was in the VIP section. No one's getting it. I'm watching my favorite artist ever. I'm like, am I the only one that likes this guy? But yeah, I interacted with him in I looked over at him. He was sitting me to Sarah. I didn't see him. He was in all white in this platinum chain. His outfit was at least $200 grand.
Oh yeah,
easy. And then Patrick was to my right. He looked over at me, and I just looked at Patrick, and he was looking over here, and he had this weird look on his face. And I looked over at my left. I was like, and we met eye contact. He had glasses on. I don't know if we actually had eye contact. He looked at me, and I said, I don't think you're real. And he just like, what? I said, sorry, I'm nervous. I didn't know you were there. And then his bodyguard, his big giant guy, I felt just behind me, just kind of goes, pushing me away from him a little bit.
it's like apple bottom.
Apple 369. Oh man, enough of my downfalls. Are you gonna miss Firefly? Would Newcastle County or favor, like, do you claim Firefly?
I think we are over Firefly.
Well, technically we are over Firefly.
Yeah,
It's gone.
yeah.
It's like
I think maybe the younger generation is feeling left out for sure.
I feel like we ruined Firefly for ourselves, though.
Wasn't it like a punk rock festival there at the start?
Oh my
And then
god!
it became an EDM
The first
house
few years
festival?
was amazing. Yeah, like really good artists. It was done really well, clean, easy, smooth, and then I think what it was is it got so huge. People coming from all over. I mean, from California, Florida, Texas. You know, I met people from all over the country. Are you all right?
I was looking for the paper towels. I'm getting a little sweaty. Yeah, there they are.
So yeah, I think it just got absolutely overrun, really, by the end of it, and it just was hard to keep up with. And then yeah, they did completely change the music toward the end.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you look gross.
Jesus.
how about now?
Little shiny.
Beautiful.
Sarah just knows how to turn off her sweat pores. I don't know how she's doing this.
ones. The makeup.
No.
Yeah,
feeling
I'm a hard sweater.
Putting a finger in the hole so the
hard
water
sweater.
doesn't come through.
Hard sweater.
A hard sweater.
Respond to my comment. Shut
Like
up,
what
Carla.
you're wearing.
I was like, who with the friend logos yelling at me in the comments? Didn't Coachella buy Firefly, or is that a rumor? No, Coachella is funded by AEG, which is like the Auschwitz Entertainment Group. At first I read, I was like, owned by who? And it's owned by a rich German company. they own a ton of festivals, and yeah, they did fund Firefly. Now the rumor is, and this is still a rumor, that they are financially tied to Oceans Calling and Country Calling. Not that they're owners; they are not owners, and it would be on their site if they were. And I put out a video about Firefly, and a lot of people are like, "That's not true." I'm like, I have sources saying that's what's happening, that they're distributing the funds to a more reliable demographic, which is older artists or older favored artists, like that they're bringing down there.
Millennials.
Yeah. Well, and millennials and Gen X, because they know, okay, all these 40 to 50-year-old dads that are retired will come down and watch this. They don't get in fights. They spend more money. They're more reliable year to year. They don't camp and die. Like,
Are we talking about Fish Festival right now? Is that what you're talking about?
well, so that's Oceans Calling. No, Fish Festival is called Montegreen, I think it's called. Mondegreen, M-O-N-D Green.
What, the owner?
No, that's the
funding?
name of the festival.
I thought it was the Fish Festival.
No, Fish is the band.
Yeah, I thought the
Fish is the
Festival.
band. And Mondegreen's the name of the event.
I thought it was going to be the Fish Festival.
No. Well, here's the thing. It is, because they're the only band.
What is
It's okay to be
Point
confused.
of that.
A little bit.
It's okay.
Why'd they
Ego
get rid of the
stroke.
I
country?
was confused too. I had to do more research. Like, there's no way. On the site, and like, oh, $700. One. Okay. 4 nights in a row. Got it. Cool. All right. Opener.
That's a lot
That's
of
it.
music.
All right. It's a lot of music from the
one
same
person.
band. But apparently it's immersive. And we watched the clips on it. Like, there's like dancing lizards and the
Dancing lizards.
shape. Yeah.
Thank God.
Yeah, we just dropped that podcast of us reviewing it. I was, I'm sure there's a clip from it. Oh, but we didn't get the middle one showing it. Either way, look it up, Mondegreen. I think what Rev just said, a classic rock fest will be really cool.
Absolutely.
But again, that's a safer investment for these entertainment groups. I think unless you're at scale and you're in the middle of a desert, like what Coachella's not in the desert. What's the one that's in Cali?
Burning
What is-
Man.
Burning
Man.
Man.
I thought Coachella was in the desert.
Maybe Coachella's in. I've never been to Coachella. I've never had a desire to go to those. I love the fact that Firefly was local. Yeah, I love that it was easy. It was in a
It's just
woodsy
not my
area.
vibe.
It was mine. I liked it. I liked the chill side of it for one day.
Yeah.
One day.
I loved it. I grew up camping, so
I never did the camping thing.
I did it I did the first 3 or 4 years.
Nice.
And then the music started changing. I didn't go.
The music
Like,
did start changing.
I would never go to something like Made in America, which is like
Oh,
on
in
the
DC?
streets.
Yeah.
Is it DC or is it
it's
Philly?
DC.
I think they did
Maybe
it in
it's
Philly
Philly.
once.
That's different.
Yeah.
I'm sure the acoustics are much
crazy.
less under control there in the streets of Philly as
sure.
opposed to
Yeah,
in the
it's
woodlands
just
of Dover.
on the street.
So let's get our last takes going around. Last closing argument on the subject of whether or not Delaware has things to do. I'm going to finish.
That's what she said.
Please stop. This is going on YouTube.
You did call somebody a dickhead.
That's different.
I whispered. The phone didn't hear me.
That's the part that's going on YouTube. This is fine. Whisper it to
He
them.
picks up 8 Wilmington listings for $20 million each. You sell the DuPont mansion for that.
Start us off. Rotate around.
Okay.
Closing
Oh,
argument.
I am sweating now.
I have the argument that yes, there are things to do in Delaware. Yes, you have to look for them. Go on Facebook, go on Google, local events, Delaware.com, whatever. However, I think it could do better having more options like a Firefly, things like that. That requires more of an investment and I think intentional response, not just from the local people, but from the state of Delaware and from the people that do have the big companies here. They'd have to come together to make that one happen.
Yeah, I hear you.
I'll play devil's advocate. I'll say there are local events. So, yes, there are things to do, but I think we're missing big names. We're missing the pool. We're not attracting anyone from out of state with any type of entertainment. I'd say the only entertainment type of thing that's attracting people from out of state would be the beaches. I don't even think the live music there is really something like a pool. People know it's there, but I wouldn't say it's a big pool. So... You give me crazy eyes.
No. I'm listening, and also I have a video playing in my head that I want us to do.
Okay.
Yeah,
Love it.
I watched. I'm not to interrupt, but I watched a video the other day. It was LeBron and Michael, or they're like a debate, but it was a 40-minute video. I didn't even want to. I ended up watching it all. It was really good though because they held it in court. It was basically a court hearing on that subject, and they gave their debates, and it was really interesting.
On entertainment in Delaware?
No, on Michael Jordan versus LeBron. But what if we did it on whether, the final verdict on is there enough to do in Delaware? And we had a...
Loft Realty debate team.
Yeah.
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 Let's do it. But yeah, so I think
Because
we're
you could be on the other side.
missing... I'll do it. Always play devil's advocate. I think we're missing, big name attraction. I think we're missing entertainment pool. Then again, we talk about venues. There's not enough seats anywhere to do anything like that.
I think there's plenty to do. I think just most people here don't look for the opportunity, and they feel like you have to leave because, the state is 2 hours long from top to bottom. So how much could you possibly squeeze in? But at the same time, there is plenty to do. You have like Killen's Pond. Most people don't even know that that's an actual water park. I had no clue until we went there.
I didn't know that.
Multiple state parks where
water park at the
surrounded by water. Too. Like there is plenty to do. I just think it's about making the effort to do it, and also about the marketing of the things to do here.
I like the way you're putting it, the marketing of things to do.
Yeah, I agree.
I'd say to your first point, we have room for more. We need more people spending more money in order to fund those things. I think things like a Top Golf down at the beach would do great. I think converting Dover Downs as International Speedway to a concert venue would be a great thing. You said there's no seats. There's 80,000 over there that go unused.
I'll die on that hill. I think that needs to happen.
I absolutely.
we all agree
with all the land, that easily could happen. It would take money, and it takes an investor looking at it saying, because of this metric, that metric, and this metric, I think this will be a success. It's not just about us having something to do. And I think that largely has to do with population and buy-in to Delaware. I think over the next 4 to 5 years, though, we're getting more and more buy-in just from people moving in, whether we like it or not. So we're going to get those things to do. I think we already have things to do, too. So I think we're only going to grow to be a even more entertaining area. I think some of the gaps we've talked about are real gaps that are going to get filled by somebody because we're a growing state. We're something investors looking at, not like a Manhattan.
Yeah.
No one's walking into Manhattan at this moment as a brand new investor thinking, we're going to take over the world.
I'm going to strike gold here.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a jump shark.
Yeah.
And Delaware is still on the lower side of the median income. And frankly, I agree. There's a lot of things to do. There's a lot of parks. There's a lot of nature. And especially when it comes to family, I think Delaware is a fine spot. I think if you're 16, maybe there's a little less to do. And frankly, that might be better off for you in the long run anyway. Just do drugs. No, don't do that. I meant
But
Adderall
I can't say
to stay under
that's what
control.
she said.
What?
I'm about to say.
No.
That's both kind of like.
We're like minute 58 on this video, so if we're still watching here, I think we got great rapport, so I think we're good to go.
Thank you for hanging in there.
All right, hands in. What are we saying, Josh?
Gabagool.
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 Gabagool, guys.